Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Erica Full of Joy. So today I'll be painting my nails and I hope you will too, as well as going through like 3 common motivations that I had when I was younger for intentional weight loss. And I'll be going through how those are founded in fatphobia and gross weight bias. And so I hope that this is something that you can learn from. I also linked a bunch of different articles, websites, podcasts, books in my description that you should totally check out after the video. And I hope that if you're not painting your nails with me today, that you have a little snack, a drink, just something to keep you company for the next 30 minutes. Okay, thanks for watching. I'm gonna be painting my nails on my bed, but that is a risk I'm willing to take for my channel, y'all. These are just some techniques I've learned over the years of my life. But yeah, rolling instead of like shaking. I don't know, something about the air. It's better to do that. But yeah, I'm using the OPI Gel Color Pro Health Base Coat. And so my idea is that I will be painting my nails and then talking about my like motivation cards, and they shouldn't even be called motivation. So let me give you a little background. I was in a program that was kind of, it was said to be a program that promoted health and like wellness, right? But really for children and kids and teens, right? Anyone who was under 22, I think, was able to be in it. But yeah, and so in this program, I was going to appointments depending on my level of engagement. I was going every 2 weeks, and every 2 weeks I was getting weighed, and then I was setting 2 goals. One that was more focused on food and another one that was more focused on exercise. And so based off of those goals, like, so say one goal was like exercise 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. And then the other goal would be like eating 2 servings of vegetables a day, 5 days a week, something like that, right? And then I would like check off what I would do, right? And then I would have a reward, and that reward was supposed to be something non-food related. But so I'm going to be talking about these motivation cards that I made probably between the ages of 8 and 12. And I would just remember like throughout, the program director that I would meet with every 2 weeks would say like, yeah, like this isn't, this is more than just your weight, right? Yet I was still weighed every 2 weeks, and it would still feel like I failed if I gained weight. And I was doing this, I was in this program, I think starting at age 7. And I think my last appointment was before going to college. So I was like 17, 18. So I was in this program. Oh my god, I got nail polish on my shirt. Whatever. So I was in this program for like 10 years. But yeah, we're about to get to one of the cards now. And the reason I'm doing this too, just talking about the cards in between layers, is because I heard that if you give your nails like 2 minutes to dry between layers, it's supposed to really cut down ultimately on the dry time. Okay, let me go ahead and do a deep breath now, because I feel like this video is gonna be kind of intense and I'm already kind of shaky, so I know I need a deep breath right now, and hopefully this deep breath will help you also receive this information. And feel free to pause the video at any point to just take a deep breath and just really get back in it, right? Okay, so breathe in. Y'all, I'm so shaky right now, but it's okay. Growth, am I right? So this first card is, I will feel more confident, not as self-conscious. So basically, this card is trying to say that with weight loss, I will feel more confident as well as less self-conscious. And that's just really messed up, that my body and my weight is a determinant of how I feel about myself. Like my worth, because confidence and worth are very tied. My self-worth / my confidence is tied to my weight. And that's something I was taught as a preteen. Probably like the oldest I would probably be in this point is like 15, so teenager, you know, but like formative, right? That the smaller I am, presumably, the more confident I will be. And that's something that I've like kind of unlearned at this point, but it's still something that I have to remind myself that I should not feel better about myself because I'm smaller, or I should not have to push myself to be smaller so that I can be more confident. And I think that's the thing. Like, I am honestly probably the most confident I have been in my life, and I am also the biggest I have been in my life. So yeah, there are definitely days where I've like body image is the worst, but I've also learned that my self-worth and my worth in general is not something that should be tied to my weight. And honestly, like, I'm gonna have a body appreciation post later. I'm gonna go through how our bodies do so much, and they're literally like, there's so much body diversity. So I should be thankful and I should appreciate the body that I have, because it has got me through so much. So I love it. I'm confident even without losing weight. And if you have any other kind of thoughts about why weight loss and confidence should not be linked, go ahead and put that in the comments for others to read, because that is something that we all need to unlearn, because we are all taught in our society that with weight loss comes happiness, with weight loss comes confidence, with weight loss all these different things, right? All these positives, and that's just not True. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead to my next layer of nail polish, and then after that we will get to another card. And just like while I'm doing this, I just want to say that like I'm not doing this post or this video to receive any kind of like pity, I guess, but more so to help me continue unlearning this, as well as to hopefully show someone else that like, yeah, we're learning this, but it's not the right way. I'm also painting my nails a nice pretty blue. I think this is my favorite color. I'll bring it up to the camera in a second. I hope that people who like to paint their nails are painting your nails with me, because I don't know, I've always loved painting my nails. I always say that like it's the only like makeup that I really wear. I wore eyeliner in high school, like only my freshman year, I think. Eyeliner and mascara. But since then, I'll do it on like special occasions. Like I'll wear makeup on special occasions, but it's still like just my eyes. I don't do like foundation. And I mean, personally, I just think that like for my face, like yeah, I have discoloration kind of, but I think makeup is also just harder to find as a Black woman and as a Black person. But I mean, Black people definitely still wear makeup. It's still possible. For sure, for sure. But also I think just because like my mom doesn't really wear a full face, it's also like she also only wears eye makeup. So I think it's just like I was never really like, I guess, expected to, which I think is different for like other people. This is the blue. I feel like a makeup person. So yeah, I'm gonna do another layer of that though, because it went on kind of thin. So I'm gonna do this one now. Okay, and I probably should have had like more research at my disposal, but this one says I won't be at risk for diabetes. And I'm first gonna respond with something that I posted on my Instagram a couple weeks ago. It's basically saying that if you put weight as the cause for diabetes in plus size people, but not for straight size people, that is weight bias. Sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna use language like straight sized and plus sized, and so that's just talking about like for plus size clothing, like jeans, it's like 18 and over, size 18 and more. That counts as like plus size, and like with like 1X, 2X, 3X, like that's plus size, right? So straight size is like extra large and smaller, right? We should all know that diabetes type 2 and type 1 can happen to any size person. And type 2 is usually like oh, you're unhealthy if you get type 2 diabetes, right? And I say unhealthy in quotation marks because that is not necessarily true. But like, or you really shouldn't be like determining someone's health if you don't even know them, right? Or just based off of like one thing like type 2 diabetes. But anyway, I also just want to put it out there that I don't have type 2 diabetes. You don't need to know that. You shouldn't care. But I feel like there are going to be some people who are out here being like, oh my God. But anyway, anyone, any size person can get type 2 diabetes. Weight is not as big of a indicator as your level of movement slash like how much movement you do, what you're eating, your environment is actually a huge indicator. Maybe not indicator is not the good word, but like risk, right? Risk thing. Like your environment puts you more at risk. Yeah, there we go. Your environment puts you more at risk. The food you're eating puts you at a different risk. The movement you're doing is gonna determine the risk, but weight is not necessarily a risk factor. Risk factor, y'all. Oh my gosh. Because again, body diversity. There are people who don't gain weight as easily. So obviously there are going to be people who don't lose weight as easily, right? We all kind of have a set body weight point, right? And you can look all of this up, but we all kind of have a set weight point that our bodies thrive at. And that's different for every person. And it's not within it's not like, oh, most like bodies thrive at the weight of 150, right? And that's the case for everyone. No, there are people who thrive at 230, people who thrive at 120, people who thrive at 300. You don't know, except your body knows your set weight point. And so it doesn't matter how much you exercise. It doesn't matter how many vegetables you eat. It doesn't matter how few calories you eat or consume. Your body is going to want to stay at a certain weight. But basically what I'm trying to say is that weight is not as big of a risk factor for diabetes as people like to say. So yeah, we're gonna move on to the next layer. It's definitely been 2 minutes. So I started all of this unlearning in my sophomore year of college, and I did a project about my oppressed identity, like one of my oppressed identities and one of my privileged identities. And so the identity I chose for oppression was being fat. And that was like the first time I really like saw body size as an identity. And it really starts to change your perspective, just saying that's an identity. Because identities are things that are not, if at all, easily changeable. You know? Identities tend to be something that you kind of like, you just are. right? And there are some that like are definitely changeable, like class and I guess technically nationality, like if you get a second citizenship. But I think class education level are probably the two easiest to change. But still, like others, like race and those things, well, are gonna be pretty stationary. Yeah, so I'll link a lot of the resources that I used in that project that really set me on a journey of body acceptance and self-love and anger, because I was just angry at all of the misinformation that I've been given based off of my body. This idea that I was just never gonna be healthy because of my weight. And that's just not true. And like a lot of the problems, like health outcomes of people with larger bodies, has to do with the fact that doctors have weight bias and we're not given the same level of healthcare as straight size people. And so obviously that's going to have a huge influence on our health and our vitality. If our doctors aren't respecting what our symptoms are, ignoring the cause of the symptoms, and putting all the onus on our weight, then of course we're gonna die maybe earlier or of other things because we're not getting good health care. But yeah, so on to the next and last card. My last motivation card. I will get more joy out of shopping for clothes. It would be easier and more fun with others. So now we're getting into more of the business. Okay, I didn't even realize I did this, y'all, but subconsciously I'm hitting on myself, just like my own feelings of my body and weight, right? Then I'm going to the healthcare system, and now we're getting into capitalism and just businesses. So I'm kind of just hitting all of the different things. But now I just want to talk about how stores and the clothing industry is extremely weight biased, and like stores like Forever 21, H&M, Urban Outfitters, those are all the stores that I would go to in high school with my friends on the weekends. And Forever 21 I think was like the only, well, H&M had some, anyway. Forever 21 had a separate section called Forever Plus or something like that, and there were almost none of the same kinds of clothes that were in the rest of the store. I don't know what happens, but all of a sudden we get into 1X and none of the same clothes can work for people who need a size larger than extra large. And that just always baffles me. But also the fact that it's in a separate part of the store, I couldn't walk around with my friends around the store as much if I actually wanted to look for clothes that I wanted to buy. I had to be in my own little section, and I always felt so awkward if one of my friends tried to come to the section with me, or asking if they would come look at those clothes with me, because it's like, you know, I'm different, when it's like literally no. Why is it so hard for me to find clothes, you know, in the first place? Like, that shouldn't be a problem. And I think that's also something that I really think about with all these motivation cards is, why would someone allow me? Because I didn't actually handwrite, like the program director that I would meet up with, she's the one who wrote these out for me as I was saying them. And I just think about, like, why would she let me say these as motivations? Why would she allow me to think that it should be hard for me to find clothes? It should not be as fun for me to find clothes because I need to lose weight in order to find clothes that straight size people wear. It should be a fear in my head all the time that I might get diabetes because of my weight. I should be less confident because of my weight. Like, that is what is being taught. And I internalized that, and she allowed me to internalize that. And I think that's really what makes me sad and angry, and why I want to talk about it. And it's not even the specific motivations, I guess, that is really disheartening, but just that so many people are going around with these same like thought loops in their head of like, oh, I can't go shopping with my friends because I don't, like, one, I'm not going to be able to find anything, and two, it's going to be awkward, and three, it's just going to demoralize me because I won't be able to find anything, right? And they think that's okay to have those thoughts. They think that's, yeah, I need to lose weight in order to like do these things. Weight should not be holding anyone back from their lives and from living happy, you know? So yeah, and I think also I feel, to a certain extent, I kind of feel bad because I'm painting this picture of like the program director being like this horrible person, when in reality I actually love her so much. Like, she was like a consistent adult in my life. And I mean, it's not to say that I didn't have consistent adults, but I don't know, she also brought a lot of happiness into my life. So I don't want to kind of like send this message that she's the worst and like she ruined my life. Like, no. But I hope that she's learning about the thing called health at every size. Yeah, and I hope she's growing too, because obviously she has influence over a lot of children. So yeah, we're doing the last layer, y'all, and then I'm gonna get some food. I'm hungry. Oh yeah, so this is my top coat. It's, I don't even know what brand. Let's see, I think Sally Hansen, probably Sally Hansen, like owns the nail business, but it's the Argan Oil Color Therapy Formula. But I love putting on a top coat because it makes everything so shiny and smooth. I just thank y'all so much for, oh my god, Jameson literally just sounds so sad. So I'm like not one of those people who like cleans up my nails as I'm doing it, but in the shower, the next time, like either the next day or later, that like the same day, when they're dry, like the hot water will like unleash the nail polish that's on your skin, and so like I'll peel it off in the shower to clean it up. But these are my nails. Boop, boop. They're so pretty. Thank you so much for watching. This is Erica Full of Joy. Please subscribe, comment, like, share this video, and I hope that this was, I don't know, beneficial to you in some way. If you agree or disagree with anything I said, you know, feel free to put that in the comments. If you want to expand on anything that I said, feel free to put that also in the comments. In my description, I'll be putting like the different articles, different books, different podcasts that are centered on the different topics that I talked about. So feel free to peruse those. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. I hope that your nails are feeling loved, and if you're not one to love your nails, I hope you are feeling loved as a whole person. And yeah, all the love.